Hello, beautiful light-filled souls. My name is Trisha Barker. So the question I pose to you today is, if a tree falls in the forest and all your friends are philosophers, mystics, psychics, mediums, and generally inquisitive people, how many answers are you going to get about that tree falling? So the video that I made yesterday about the power of God and God being the only force that is real in this world. The tree that I was standing next to when I went on a walk today was rooted up and had fallen. So, maybe it was planned that that tree was going to fall, 100 years ago. It was known that that was the death of that tree and that would be the end of it. And I just happened to make the last video by it. But the tree was also this metaphor of the shadow. And I thought, what if I am being called to rip the shadows up out of this earth and just jerk them away from people's lives and to really center people in the light and the flow of God? Because that is what I know from this near-death experience, is that we can fill ourselves with fear and doubt, and we can interpret things in so many different ways. And it's really been quite amusing how people have interpreted this tree falling. And I'll give you a little bit of context. I have been attacked both on my blog and here on YouTube for the occasional political comment, and someone recently said, "Trisha, do not talk about politics on this channel." And I thought, uh-oh, when someone tells me to not do something, that means I'm gonna do it. And so I was like, okay, that requires a lot of energy and a lot of power and a lot of focus to bring healing to America mainly, but around the world, hopefully this will apply as well. But I am going to start talking about how to have greater respect and love and unconditional love for all people, and in relation to certain political things that are happening in America. And I know that around the world, people do look at the US and do have things to say about this topic. That's going to have to be a much larger video, but I am going to give you the preview that this is going to be about adding healing to the world. And I'm glad that I'm not a full-time medium or psychic, because I might feel compelled to stay out of this arena. But I'm a professor and I teach people how to analyze bias and language and the news and media, and how to decipher when they're being manipulated, and how to really look at facts, and how to have an open mind, but also to do this with great love and compassion for other people, and to understand that your perspective on your life cannot be overlaid on top of another life. So if you are a certain race and you've had a certain upbringing, you can't overlay your experiences onto the life of someone else. You have to actually listen to their experiences in life and see what it's like to be them, to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, to use a cliche. And hearing the power of stories is a very important thing, because when we understand another person's viewpoint, then we begin to really open up to this wider perspective and this oneness with other people. And it isn't quite so hate-filled, because you're not seeing something from your perspective. So let's take this tree, for instance. So one friend said, hey, this is a sign from God. God's giving you the okay, that what you have said and what you have done and the works that you are putting forth, that this is God's thumbs up, this tree falling. Another friend was like, oh, this is just planned. It's just serendipitous. It has nothing to do with your message. Another friend was like, there looks like there was quite a bit of focused energy on that tree, that perhaps someone sent focused energy to that particular tree to make it fall, perhaps to scare me. Well, the problem is you can't scare near-death experiencers. Like, we've died, hello. There's not really anything that I am terrified of, because everything that I have walked through in life has prepared me to be extremely strong in the face of resistance, in the face of abuse, in the face of, oh, everything that people can throw at me. I mean, like, it's almost amusing. For some reason, I know that I walk with God. I walk in the light of God, and anything that others try to do is just a moment of healing for them, because I know that within their sphere that there's a terrible karma that is going to be enacted in their life if they are sending this negative energy towards me or anyone. Probably won't even affect me, and it's just going to be caught in their sphere of how they live and how their life works out in the long run. That we are told many times to pray for our enemies, to wish them well, to wish them great success, to wish them love, and that is great healing for our lives. So I don't really spend much time thinking about how I've been wronged or how I've been hurt. These are wounds that we all have to process, but what I spend my energy on is that light of God, and how powerful that light of God is in my life, and how powerful it can be in other people's lives. And that's the message that I want to get across. Now, I know I mentioned politics earlier, and I just want to remind you that this video is not going to touch on that subject. This is really just kind of a preview that it's coming, like Game of Thrones, winter is coming. Ooh, the videos are coming. So whoever made that comment telling me to not do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I am going to take on the subject with love and respect for all people. I'm going to be very human and authentic, and I'm going to try to reach across the divide in this country, and I'm going to try my best to unite people with unconditional love, because I know as an instructor, when I have a group of students enter my classroom, many of them just aren't political, they haven't voted, but maybe some of them have voted, and maybe they voted differently from one another or differently from me. And I know the reason that they're in college is to better their life, to create a better life for themselves, to have more for their family, to achieve the dreams that they want to achieve. And my goal is to help them do that, but also to open their minds a little and to expand their horizons and to get them to really relate to people who they wouldn't relate to normally in their day-to-day environment, and to see people who think differently and have different life experiences as humans who want the same thing as them, that we're all connected and we all want a good life. And so that's how I'm going to take on this subject, is I am going to tackle it from the point of view of how can I add love and healing to people's lives by talking about political issues, and maybe more in an archetypal way, not necessarily in a specific way, because that gets tiring. And I think sometimes we can take the heat out of arguments and the heat out of discussions by talking about them in this way that, maybe we look at it from the past, or we look at it, from a different time period, so that we can more clearly see what's going on in this time period, and not make the same mistakes perhaps that we've made in the past, so that we can, as human beings, get along and do that with great love and great respect and great honor. And that is my goal. So yes, the tree that fell when I was talking about God being the only power is just an amusing tidbit that I wanted to share with you, and to weigh in that what I think it means is, I made a joke with God last year, and I said, God, show me. If I am meant to talk about politics and I'm meant to take on some really tough subjects on YouTube, then I want my words to be so powerful that they rip trees from the ground. And well, wouldn't you know it, a tree got ripped from the ground. So perhaps my words are that powerful, according to God. But anyway, I look forward to that. And please check out the videos that I am going to be posting about the classes that I'm offering on my website. I care deeply for various people, and I want their messages of love and hope and healing and enlightenment to reach you. So internet classes and classes online are just a great way for those of us who are maybe isolated or busy or have kids at home or whatever the case might be, and you really need this spiritual support. So I have lots of great classes, 4 wonderful classes from other people, one that I've created, and they're at different times throughout the summer. If some of them don't make, I'm certainly going to push the dates out a little bit more because I want people to be involved, and it takes a while for the word to spread about these things sometimes. But may you be blessed, may you be happy, and may divine light work in your lives for all that is